Did you know the original word for avocado is Mayan? In Mayan, avocado means testicle. Carry on. All right, so now that I got the avocado out of the way, need to pull something out here. Not that. Yeah, you guys are prepping wrong. No, not really, but in a way. Something nobody's really thinking about that I'm starting to find a lot of importance in the more I think about it. So, prepping, most of the information that we get is off of YouTube, let's just face it. There's books out there, there's blogs, if anybody blogs anymore. I don't know if anybody really does. But there's little bits of information out there outside of YouTube, but for the most part it's YouTube. YouTube, you have to create a visual, something visually entertaining for people. Not necessarily my channel, because it's just me on my workbench in my garage. I'm not very visually entertaining, but a lot of people really emphasize on the visual part of it to get clicks, likes, and honestly, make a living. There's a lot of people that make a living at it. Not that that's a bad thing. Hats off to the people that are successful enough that do it, but I'm gonna go off on a little bit of a rant here for 1 second, bear with me. A lot of the people that give out the information, experienced people, survivalists, all kinds of stuff, they give out information on prepping, really focus on the gadgets. A lot of the things to get, things that are going to help you, things that are going to save your life, things that are going to provide, all these different things, gadgets. You know, definitely food and water. That's not really a gadget, but definitely food and water. And there's a lot of people that really put stress on that, and that's extremely important. You got to make sure they have those things. Survival. But there's also a lot of people that, you know, really put an emphasis on protection, guns, ammo, knives, EDC stuff, survival and bushcraft things, you know, how to build a shelter and bug out this, bug out that. Okay, you guys know. Most of those things are, yeah, they're going to help you. They're going to maybe get you through some hard times. They're going to be able to provide certain things like food and water if you need to. That's not so much my thing. I mean, I do have some things. I definitely have the pew-pew, and knives and, you know, things to get me through hard times, because hard times are coming. But nobody really seems to talk about the main thing. And it's not necessarily the main thing that you need to prep, but it is the main focus point of while we'll be prepping. So you should probably prep some of that, right? Now, we're going to be going to war. Everybody pretty much knows at this point that we're going to be going to war. A lot of people think that we're going to be going to war with Iran, possibly Korea, Russia, something like that. Now, if you know me and you've watched any of my videos, I've done, I guess I can say, extensive research on, you know, how this SHTF is going to go down. And I honestly believe from all sides of the conflict and around the world is going to be China. Now, China is going to be coming for us, regardless of how the media is going to play this out. It's already written. China's coming for us for one thing. Whether we necessarily instigate the conflict over there or not, you know, however this is played out, China already has a plan to come to us. Now, if you think about it, there's a lot of people, yeah, I guess I could say people around the world that do not like America. They don't like Americans. They think we're obnoxious, and maybe we are to some extent, but they just don't like us. I've always heard my whole life. I traveled a lot as a kid, traveled mostly over in Asia and stuff like that. That wasn't too bad, but I always heard if you go to France, the French don't like Americans. they'll stick their nose up to us. And I kind of started realizing, well, that's most of the world. Africa doesn't like Americans. Russia doesn't like Americans. The Middle East doesn't like Americans. Asia doesn't like Americans. Japan doesn't like Americans. Mexico doesn't like Americans. You know, nobody likes Americans. Why? I think because we have everything that they want and we bitch about it. Okay. Now, what causes that? Well, it's what China wants to come for, and kind of what Russia wants to come for. They want what we have. Now, if you look at the different wars that have gone on, take 9/11 for an example. Osama bin Laden, the Taliban, that whole thing. I guess, yes, you can say that it was a terrorist attack on U.S. soil. Okay, I agree with that for the most part, but that is not the reason for the attack. It wasn't to strike terror and fear into the United States. Now, it was definitely played out that way, but if you actually look into it and do some research into why that was attacked, the information that they got from bin Laden, the information's out there. Okay. They did not go for terror in the United States. What they went for is the US dollar. Okay? The information's out there. Feel free to look it up, or you can trust me on it. Either way, don't care. But that's what the attack was. That is what bin Laden's goal was, is to put a hurting on the US economy. They attacked the World Trade Center. The World Trade Center is the hub of the American economy. The American economy is the hub of the world economy. We basically dictate and regulate most of the things that go on in the world as far as financial decisions go. Okay? I think we all know that. We can all agree on that. So yes, they hit the Pentagon. They were probably going to hit something else that we will never know the answer to. So with that, yeah, it was a terrorist attack. Now, China's long game, what China is planning to do, is basically take over the world. Not to sound like Ren and Snippy or anything like that, but China's trying to take over the world. The only way they can do it is to take over the world finance, the world reserve currency. Now, they've already got things in place. We know about BRICS. BRICS is mostly for the petrodollar, and that holds a lot of control. Right now, pretty much if you want to go through Saudi Arabia, the Middle East, anything like that, and your country wants to trade outside of the US dollar, well, you can do it. You don't need the US dollar. So that's devaluing the dollar. China's selling off a lot of bonds. They're getting out of a lot of investments. I think, don't quote me on it, I think that they've gotten rid of about 75% of the US investments already. Nobody's talking about it. China's coming for, well, China's coming for the US dollar. Now, nobody really talks about prepping dollars. They don't really talk about the impact that a financial crash is going to do. Well, everybody wants to talk about living out in the woods. Everybody wants to talk about, selling gold. There are a lot of people out there that are sponsored by gold companies, whether they believe it or not. I think most of the people do believe it, because once you get educated on it, you're kind of like, yeah, I mean, gold's definitely a thing. I recorded this earlier, and I had a gold coin out here to show you guys as an example for, put some gold back. I do not have that with me anymore because I already packed up my game today and decided I had to re-record this. So anyway, besides the point, China is going to be the war. If you see my videos, that's what I'm focused on. The war is not going to be with Israel. The war is not going to be Iran, Russia, North Korea. We might have conflicts, we might have military operations and there might be American lives lost. That is not the war. A lot of people don't realize what's coming. We haven't had a war really, I mean, in a very long time. I'd almost go back to say the Civil War. No disrespect to the Vietnam, World War II vets, Korea vets, anybody that has served, especially, you know, duty and deployed out, you know, anywhere in the world. We've had our conflicts, they have fought for us, and much respect for that. But we're about to see a war that none of us for a few generations have experienced. The Civil War was a big one. The Revolutionary War was a big one. You've heard me talk about that. This is going to be world changing on ways that people don't realize. We are going to go full on war with China. And basically Team Communism, Team Red. It's going to be Iran, Korea, Russia, everybody against NATO and whoever else decides to join us. But the crash of the financial system is going to cause a lot of these things that a lot of these other preps are going to come into play. Food, water, you know, maybe bushcrafting and survival and stuff like that. But the main focus is going to be an attack on the financial system. Now, China can do this 1,000 different ways. They're going to do it 1,002 different ways because there's ways that we don't know about that they have planned that they're going to do. Now, if you look at things like COVID and things like that, which I believe was an attack on the U.S., it was a planned deal from China, but you know, that's kind of conspiracy theory type thing. Because there's no proof of it, we'll never know. Maybe we will know one day, but look at what that did to the economy. It made us hyperinflate everything. It made this gigantic bubble. It made us kind of panic. It made us print a whole bunch of money. It put us in the situation that we're in right now. And we're in a bad place right now. Yes, the stock market's doing really, really well. But we're almost past the point of no return, if we're not already past the point of no return. So can we fix it? Yeah. Can we do things to, you know, put a Band-Aid on it? Yeah. The biggest thing that we do is go to war over it. You know, whenever we get into a bad financial situation like this, to where, I mean, we're looking at a default. We're looking at filing bankruptcy as the United States. So money's going to kind of disappear. So, I mean, definitely if you want to put a few of these back, it's probably going to make a rainy day a little bit better. And when I say a rainy day, I mean a Category 5 hurricane that's coming financially. Definitely if you can put some gold back, silver. I mean, I know everybody can't afford gold rounds or ounces or anything like that, but you can get it all the way down to a few bucks for gold back. You know, I think you can get gold backs for about $2 or $4. Get some of that, put it back. I mean, gold's going to hold its value for the most part. Yeah, it's manipulated. Yeah, there's a lot of paper gold out there, but all in all, it's kind of proven that $2,000 100 years ago in gold is going to buy you $2,000 today, is going to buy you $2,000 100 years from now, most likely. That's probably with BRICS backing their petrodollar with gold. It's probably going to become a bit more valuable. So especially in a country that loses their basically worthless paper money, and that gets hyperinflated. I mean, there's all kinds of things that are going to happen. But yeah, I just want to say, don't forget about putting back some of these guys. It's going to be important. Yeah, I want to keep rambling on and on and on, but I'm not going to do that. So I will leave it like that. Don't forget to squeeze yourself an avocado today. And till next time, got some more videos coming. Appreciate you watching. Peace.